Hello and welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of the Football Chat Show. We're first of our bi-weekly episodes. Of course, I'm joined by Jamie. Jamie, how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
Let's go in life and not in football terms. Let's go. How are you doing in life?
The thing is, football bears on life, though, doesn't it?
Of course.
For me. So in life, what is happening at the moment is I'm moving out of my flat from uni this weekend. So in life, I am in complete and utter turmoil. But
yeah. Okay, maybe let's go how it is in football, because football sounds like it might be better.
Which mirrors football, to be fair. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the shop everywhere.
Yeah. What have you made of the opening of the Premier League? Obviously, we haven't done an episode since it started. Have you enjoyed having? Well, no is the answer to that, isn't it?
I've watched probably a combined half of football.
Yeah.
Over the of United in the past 2 weeks. No, I think I wasn't surprised about the Brighton result. I was kind of optimistic because we'd had a good preseason or whatever, but we hadn't played at Premier League intensity. So it's that game. And then I wasn't overly surprised that we lost it. I mean, Brighton are a team that play good football and have done.
Yeah.
But obviously Brentford was the big one.
Big shock. I think, well, this is where we're starting, so it's good that you've gone straight into it.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a difficult situation to talk about United at the moment because it's really, it's quite a hot topic, obviously. I've spoken about it on here before in terms of our recruitment and the fact that there isn't any. What Ten Hag wants to do. But what's come into light at the moment is more of the Glazer ownership in the past or so, which is great because more people should be talking about it. But the thing is, what I want to get out of the way straight away is that the players should play better. I'm not blaming the ownership for the way that the players are playing football.
That's
what I want to get out of the way. They should still be able to beat Brighton and Brentford. They are not bad footballers. They just aren't playing well.
No.
And the problem is Ten Hag needs some players to fit his system, and he hasn't got.
I mean, Gary Neville said it, didn't he? He said, like, you've given him 21 of the 23 that were in the squad last year, and you kind of expected him to do something completely different. And it's like, well, Rangnick told you need 11 new players. And maybe Rangnick, he probably wasn't the right guy. He was
a horrible coach, terrible coach. But
he was definitely, the thing is, he's definitely a very good sporting director.
Yes.
He's definitely someone who knows how to run a club. He just doesn't, he needs to be higher up than he was.
Yeah, the Glazers have no intention of building a sporting structure.
Oh, no, they don't care,
Like, they interfere with stuff in the footballing side of the club that they shouldn't do. The manager doesn't, and let's take Ronaldo. I mean, obviously it's very high profile, but the manager doesn't want Ronaldo.
No.
The staff don't want Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't want to be there.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
As a fan, do you want Ronaldo?
No. Well, why would it? Because if the manager doesn't want this player, the sporting staff don't want this player. The only person, and he doesn't want to be there for. And the only one person that is keeping him there is Joel Glazer. He's blocked his exit effectively.
Well, it's because he wants the money for him, doesn't he? He wants to buy him his contract or whatever, which is just mental.
He makes him more money than the 500k he pays him every week.
Surely.
So it's a mess.
It's not great, is it?
So the problem we're having now is that these games we have been truly. I mean, that Brentford game is the worst game we've ever had. I genuinely believe that since in the Premier League era, let's say.
Yeah, you got trounced in your first half, definitely.
Yeah, and the thing is, if we had a setup of players to get, we'd have realised that Frankie de Jong wasn't going to happen, and then we'd have gone, all right, but here's 5 other players that are of the same style and can play there. Which ones do you want? And you do that for every position if you can't get the top target. The problem is now we can't get De Jong probably. We've gone, Rabiot's out of contract in a year, so he'll be cheap. And now 10 days after doing that, we've realised, we didn't have to pay him too much because his mum's mental.
Yeah.
And then and today we're like, oh, Casemiro, that's a great idea. He's a world-class player.
Yeah, he is obviously.
But we did the same thing with Varane last year, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, but the other thing as well is like, does Casemiro need to go? Do you know what I mean? Like he's probably getting paid a good packet. Like
look, Real Madrid
stay?
sell players for a reason, and it's because they're in decline. That's what they did to us with Varane.
Yeah,
they don't sell players in their prime. That's not what they do.
No.
And then also the most hilarious one is Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, that's mental, isn't it?
The one
Bullied you
that
first game of the season.
we dropped out of buying for 5 million because he was on the league, and then Brighton signed him, and now we'd probably cost 50, 60 if we wanted to.
Yeah, he'd cost a lot of money. Brighton's recruitment recently has been outrageous, hasn't it, in terms of turning around talent?
This is the issue. That, and also they take money out of the club, which no other owners do.
Yeah.
They don't put their own money into the club, which every other owner does. All of that kind of accumulates to where we are now. They just lie so much. They must have lied to Ten Hag. There's no way he'd have signed thinking that he'd have no structure behind him.
No.
They lie when it comes to deals. They lied in 2020 with the Sancho thing. They said that they carried on the whole way, telling us that we were going to sign him, and we didn't. They lied with Thiago. You ended up signing him. He didn't sign for us because he wanted a 4-year deal, and Joel Glazer said no, 3. And that's the only reason we didn't sign.
That's crazy.
It's mad. It's genuinely mad. But in terms of actual football, they're playing awfully, and there's not many excuses for that. I guess you could say that they're playing in a system that they're not ready for, but they are Premier League level players.
The thing that I don't get now on the footballing side is like, you had the pre-season. And I know that it's obviously like a fitness marker, but it is for a new manager, it's a time to impose this style. So I'm not sure how they could have played it, because you played 5 games of preseason? You played against us, Palace, Adelaide. You played in Adelaide. You played a couple of friendlies here and there. I don't understand how it's completely because you looked okay. Like there's no two ways around it. I know it was our 23s or 21s or only something like that, but still, you did batter them.
Yeah,
and played the style of football that Ten Hag wants to play. Against Villa,
he said it in a post-match the other day. He was like, "Well, they can play it because they have." And I mean, a lot of it is the wrong players in the wrong place. I mean, Fred isn't a 6. David De Gea isn't a goalkeeper, it seems. There is these mismatches in the pitch which you can't really have. But then it's not gonna get any better if you sign players just randomly. So say we do sign Casemiro or whatever. Look, he's a great player, but is he the profile that Ten Hag wants?
Is he quick enough for Ten Hag? Is he
not? He's not
got the ball playing ability. He probably does, but do you know what I mean? Does he? But does he play on the half turn and stuff like that?
We've been linked with Rabiot, De Jong, Casemiro, and Caicedo, all for the same position. All of them are completely different players.
Yeah. You could almost say De Jong and Rabiot are the most similar in that, in terms of they're going to play like a bit further forward than the 6. I think that you've got a ready-made 6 at the club in Martinez. I think that he would be much more suited to a 6.
Well, we'll
in terms of I'm not going to go on the height thing, because I have seen a few things recently suggesting he was quite good in the air, but more in terms of he sits there, he knows the position, and he can drop into the 3 if needed.
Yeah.
And when you're out of possession, he drops into the 3.
I mean,
the 3 and stuff like that.
There's an argument that he doesn't work without a 3 at the back.
No way. I think that's one of the things I find mental is when they go, a player can't play a 4 at the back like Rudiger. Yes, he can. He's just needs to be controlled. You know what I mean? Just tell him don't run forward, and he'll be a very, very good centre back in a 4-back formation. Tell him no.
I think it's I don't think it's particularly fair to make assumptions on him after 2 games.
No, not at all.
So I'm going to give him some time.
He's rubbish. No, I'm joking.
Give him some time to get used to it. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to get a point against Liverpool. It's just about...
You might.
I just think it's about showing that you're about something a little bit. I don't care if you lose 3-0. I just want to see something,
Yeah, perhaps you get the luck that we've had in terms of like we played all right, and the other teams have just gone through one or two times and taken that chance.
Yeah. Like
Maybe if you get that,
I have no expectations for that Liverpool game if it even happens.
yeah.
It's meant to be processed before we know.
Oh yeah.
But if I don't. I have no expectation to get anywhere near them in that game. So
Yeah,
if you just turn up and like prove that you can play at least a tiny bit, that would be fine. I don't mind these first 3 games of the season. We're not going to get relegated, so the season's right off anyway in terms of the league. I think we could still do something in the Europa League or whatever, but
you're
never going
to cup.
League. So that's fine as long as you don't get relegated. Good. Do something in the cups, whatever. But
the thing is, I think that what the Glazers aren't going to do, or they need to do, and they haven't done previously, they need to be really patient. They need to realise that it is a footballing project, and that's the problem because they're not footballing people. Do you know what I mean? They need to realise that Ten Hag, and I actually think that Ten Hag is the man in terms of like you saw it with Klopp. We finished 8th in Klopp's first season in terms of he came in October and we really didn't make progress. But you could see with the players that we had, they weren't his players. And then all of a sudden we brought Mane, we brought Wijnaldum, we brought these players, and it was like, okay, these are players that Klopp wants to play.
It's about a recruitment structure, isn't it? So the thing that you do when you start a rebuild is you either buy players that go straight into your first team, or you buy high potential players. Nothing in between. You can't afford to do anything in between.
No.
Because that just stops the rebuild from happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Mane, what was he when you signed him? Like
23. Yeah, young.
He was young and also probably went almost straight into the first team.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Salah,
but he had a lot. He had like a very high ceiling. And the other thing as well is that have you seen that meme, the Moneyball one, which is like we can replace Ronaldo's goals with Welt Weghorst. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's very similar. That's how Liverpool did it. Do you know what I mean? It's like we can get the output we need, and it was like I can imagine that board meeting when they went from Mo Salah, and everyone was like, he played 38 games for Chelsea and scored 1 goal. Do you know what I mean? They were probably
that's the thing. So that was an example.
He didn't play 38 games, but he played a lot of games.
Yeah, but then that's a good example of a great recruiting structure because Jurgen Klopp wanted Julian Brandt, and the recruiting structure. Nah, there's this Salah guy.
He's well. We wanted Goetze as well. Apparently, we wanted Goetze before we wanted Mane, and Goetze was like, "No, I don't think you've got any potential." We signed Mane, and he was like, "What have I not done that for?"
That's why you have this structure of people that know what they're actually doing, and it works obviously. But that's what we don't have and won't get unless the ownership changes. So I don't have high hopes for the season, or next. So unless something really weird changes, this will just keep on happening over and over.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit of a fever dream, isn't it? Let's finish the segment on. Okay, you're given the sporting directors like job title at United. Yeah, you've got a pot of, let's say, within financial reasons. Let's say you've probably got £200 million to spend in terms of your income, and financial fair play, etc. Who are what positions? First of all, give me 3 positions at high priority, and then give me the top target in all of them. And we're going to discount like De Jong, Rabiot, Casemiro, those sort of players, because
United at the moment need 3. Oh, I've got a window open. I can't suspect.
Yeah, so do I.
I've got. So you need a striker at United, whether or not Ronaldo leaves. You need a versatile forward at United, so across the 3, and you need a holding midfielder at United. So what I would have done, you begin the summer and you go, Frankie, do you want to join? And he goes, no. You go, all right, fine. I'd have probably gone Konrad Laimer, since he's not going to sign for Bayern Munich now. I think he's an excellent player because he'll press all day long, and plays in not a similar system, but a high intensity system in Germany. Striker, you kind of could have done anything at the summer. I mean, Nunes would have been the striker if we hadn't have decided to go for De Jong instead. But if you wanted that type of physical striker, there's that guy, I can't pronounce his name. I think he's Croatian. He plays for Stuttgart that we've been linked with. Who might have been.
Okay, I know who you're thinking. I want to throw a name in there. I want to know because I've seen it bandied around a bit. I don't know if you know who I'm going to say. I think Ivan Toney would have been perfect. Quite big. He's prem proven.
Look, I wouldn't.
He's definitely got a lot of energy. He's a
How
great
old
striker.
Is he?
He's not too old. He was at Newcastle for a few years and then he moved. I'll just double check for you.
Because if he's older than 25, the answer is no. If he's
right,
not,
26.
Yeah, I think it's pushing it a little bit.
Let me see when he was 26. March.
I maybe would have gone. I mean, it's difficult because there's so many players. Like, I don't know, Nkunku, but then he signed a new contract.
When we're going along, what's your thoughts on Anthony? And okay, let's do the two names that have been linked. Anthony and Cunha, they've both been linked recently.
All right, yeah, Cunha. Cunha's not a bad option because again, he's really high energy.
I think 50 million is a bit excessive, but
yeah, no, I agree. But he's also got 4 years left on his contract, so that's why. But he'll press for you, and he plays in a system that doesn't really suit him in Atletico.
Yeah. I mean, no one in Atletico suits the system, but the system's very good.
Yeah, no, he's an example of a young player that has potential to be in the first team. So yeah, he would work as a versatile forward. And the other one was Anthony. Anthony, very unsure about.
So am I.
Especially for the price quoted. Look, if you're going to sign Anthony, I'd be capping off at 40 million.
Yeah.
Pounds.
40 quid and packy quavers, mate. Is that right?
Because the Eredivisie is such a
hit and miss
league to sign from. I mean, look at Memphis Depay and like Klaassen and people like this that came to the Premier League and just did.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Bergwijn, people like that.
Back and it's looked amazing.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to sign someone from there, it has to be relatively low price.
I agree.
Cody Gakpo, who we're also linked with.
You should actually genuinely go back in for Depay.
Well, this is another thing I saw. His agents did offer him. But I wasn't against it really. He'll play again. He can play across the front three.
Yeah.
And he'd probably be close to free.
It'd be very cheap. Yeah, Barcelona probably just give him to you. Here you go. We'll pay his wages, but take him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be. It is like. Obviously, growing up, United just won everything, so it's kind of like there's that little kid in me. It's like this is unreal, but it is a really interesting thing to like now, like learn and be a part of. You know what I mean, and understand like what's going to happen, and kind of interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's not for you; it's quite depressing.
It is interesting because something will have to change at some
something will drop at some point. Yeah.
Well, no, because the reason the Glazers aren't selling the club and haven't sold the club is because it still makes them a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that, I mean, someone is going to have a lot of money if they want to buy Manchester United Football Club. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's at least £4 billion up front. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people in the world.
Yeah, again, but it's like, do they want to get involved in football, isn't it? Because it is a bit of like a poker game, like, are your chips safe? And
as soon as Sir Jim Radcliffe crawls out of his hole wherever he is, they'll be fine. No, they will have to sell at some point, because if this keeps happening,
it damages their brand.
Yeah, well, that, and also United won't be able to hold sponsorships because we're not in the right competitions, and then you won't get that money. And if you're playing back, at some point, it does end up hurting the owners. It's just when that happens. And to be fair, at the moment, with the share price being where it is, it's basically an all-time low, and the interest rates being that they are, it would be the perfect time to sell for them. But
there we go. That's the United talk. Obviously, not the best start to the season. I'm sure you'll pick up some points in the next couple of weeks where those
project 40 points is well underway.
Easy. But yeah, we're going to move on to the other team who have had a relatively poor start to the season by their standards, which is Liverpool.
Yeah. I messaged my dad and I was like, can't be that bad. We're only 2 points behind Paul.
Right. So I mean, the game against Fulham was obviously not ideal. That was really bad. Like
that's really bad.
The thing is, if we had played okay and got a draw, and they had played the way they did and got a draw, I'd have been like, do you know what? Fulham matched us. Yeah. We were so bad. Like, so bad. It was so good that you lost the day after, and Klopp said the dry pitch thing because everyone forgot how bad we were. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just deflected it because, oh my God. It was like when we got the ball in the first half, it was like, we've got it, Fulham have got it. we've got it. Finland have got it. It was like, oh my god, I can't. We just couldn't keep the ball. Like Trent just did not seem to have his passing boots on. Van Dijk, honestly, I don't even know if that was Van Dijk. I'm pretty sure I was an imposter. Do you know what I mean? He just went and got all the lookalikes and just went, here you go. Do you know what I mean? Like, get on the pitch today. It was not good. And to come away with a point from that was really good. I mean, Nunes was phenomenal when he come on, like really, really good. And I thought, like, this is brilliant. And then yesterday was weird because I thought we actually played quite well. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I watched all of it actually.
But I thought we actually played pretty like okay in terms of like, yeah, and the goal they scored was like how every team's going to score against Liverpool this season. I wouldn't be surprised if we kept like not a high amount of clean sheets for our standard, because of the way that we're going to be playing that high line, and over the next couple of weeks, especially with the injuries that we have and the form that we're in, I wouldn't be surprised if we shipped a few to get, like, we're playing Bournemouth in a few weeks. If we go 1-0 down to Bournemouth, I wouldn't be surprised, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, yesterday was weird. I'm not, like, a bit lost for words because I thought we were really good.
No, I think the problem is you really should have scored before
early on. Yeah, it was so weird because obviously all the talk going to be Mane. Mane wouldn't have scored in that game. Mane wouldn't have done what Diaz did. Mane wouldn't have scored in the first half. Do you know what I mean? Like, Darwin had 2 chances in the first half. One he just spooned, and then one hit the post right at the end. And it's like Mane's not in that position either time. Like, it actually doesn't matter if he's playing for us at that point. We have actually struggled for a long time. If I reckon you could look at last season, at the start of the season and towards the end of the season, like shots on target, XG, and actual goals.
Right.
And the disparity is like ridiculous. Like, we have like 25 shots a game and 4 on target. How do you do that? Like, you're professional footballers. Like, just put it. It's not that hard. But yeah, so that was weird. I mean, obviously the biggest talking point is Nunes from yesterday.
Yeah. Did you see the video that was going around this morning of just him being agitated the whole game?
Yeah. I mean, it was obviously class from Anderson in terms of, like,
great.
he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. I can understand why Nunes would be a bit like, just go away, like, home debut, just leave me alone.
He could have been sent off 4 separate times almost.
Yeah, there was that one where he did get sent off, where you can see he goes for it.
Yeah.
And then he just goes back. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
The first time. He's twigged on. I tried to headbutt him.
Have it. Go on, son, have it. But yeah, I think he'll struggle to get back into the team for a long time now. Because he's out for 3 games. So he's out for you. I think it's Bournemouth and Newcastle. And then Yotta's kind of getting in and around the team. The thing is, he's out of the team, so he can go in training and like go and get really good in training. Like, fit the system, and he doesn't actually ever worry about getting selected. So he doesn't have that feeling of, I'm not good enough yet. Like, he actually can't be selected. But it leaves us in a bit of a sticky situation. I was trying to like run through my head, like, what would I do for United? And I was like, I actually don't know, because we don't have a striker. We've got 2 senior forwards. We've got 3 senior midfielders, 4 actually. But 2 of them I really don't want to play. But we've got like 2 left backs, so I don't know. But I think that we'll see. I think Harvey Elliott's going to get a run of games. I really like him. I think he's really good. I'm a little bit concerned. We need to beat you. We really need to get 3 points at Old Trafford. Massively.
But mate, I seriously, if I could quadruple captain Mo Salah, I would do it.
You would, yeah. Well, the thing is, so as I said, what do I play? What do we play? Right, so it's the back 4 pretty much picks itself, because Nat Phillips literally, I'm not sure like if he has legs, because he was so bad yesterday.
He was bad yesterday. I don't think he's bad though.
I think he is actually bad. But when he played for us, it was like he was alongside Reece Williams. So anything better than Reece Williams was like good, and I feel really bad.
What are your opinions on Joe Gomez?
I love the bloke. I think he's so good. I think he is literally like so good. He obviously didn't play much last season, but the injury he had, I think it's like a patella tendon, and it's like they say it's like 24 months before it's fully fit.
Right.
Because it's like so rare. So yeah, I'm going for you. I think it's got to be Anderson, Trent. I'm very tempted on Tsimikas, So I'm going to leave the left back completely blank because I don't know. And then I'd go Van Dijk and I'd go Gomez because I can't have Nat Phillips doing that again. Matip's not going to be fit. Konate's not going to be fit. So, and then this is where I'm confused because I don't know if Diaz can play down the middle, like in the hole or as a striker. And I don't know how he'd be coming off the right. My head is telling me right this second, Robertson plays at left back. We play Henderson and Fabinho as sixes. We play Diaz on the right. We play Elliott in the middle in the hole. We play Kostas Tsimikas on the left. And we play Mo Salah down the middle up front on his own.
Sounds fun.
It's mental. It's game week 3. And I've gone with Kostas Tsimikas, Harvey Elliott, and Diaz on the other side of the pitch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's so annoying. And I actually don't think I completely agree with Klopp. I'm not going to be like they call it a top red. I don't think we can actually sign anyone. We obviously don't want to spend the money on Bellingham this summer. I don't know why. Nunez looks like he's off to. Or Nunez.
Mate, Dortmund are the worst club to
but they're the best club as well. They're so good at negotiating.
Yeah, but that's the problem. You'd never get him this summer.
Yeah. Well, I think we would if we literally went, here's £100 million today.
No chance.
Do you not think?
No.
But they'll sell him for £100 million next year. So that's why.
Yeah, but that's what they did. That's what they sold Sancho for, a 50 million deficit.
Yeah.
They wanted him for an extra season.
Yeah, I guess.
They don't care. They don't care.
No, I know. So then it's that Nunez from Sporting, but he looks like he's off to Wolves. Yeah, but I don't know how that deal's going. So, and then it's like all of a sudden we're looking at like, I've seen us link with Barella a little bit, and it's like, okay, decent player, but again, he's going to be 60, 70 million pounds for a stopgap for 6 weeks, because after 6 weeks we'll have Thiago, Henderson. I'm just reading our midfielders off: Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, Curtis Jones, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, James Milner. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got 10 midfielders there all of a sudden, and it's like, what's the point in dropping up 60 million pounds? And like, now I don't get it. I think we do need a signing, and I think it needs to be someone who's comfortable playing a bit deeper and then also playing off the left or the right, but there's not many of those in world football, so it's quite difficult at this stage. But yeah, it's not like a disastrous situation, let's put it that way. We're 4 points off City. I think I don't want to say it's too much, but I think it is. I genuinely think it is. Like,
welcome to game week 3, everybody.
They don't even look like they're going to drop points at any stage. The positive is Spurs and Chelsea look like they will. Like, Spurs were really, really poor, I thought, against Chelsea. In terms of what I was expecting, they weren't great.
No.
But that's another thing. But they'll drop points because there's still that edge to them. Chelsea will as well, because they played well and didn't win. So there we go. But yeah, so then that's that. And then the only last thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Arsenal, and I want to know how you feel about them. Because I obviously predicted them to finish 4th, and I think that prediction is looking pretty good right now. And they probably, to be honest, let's put it this way, probably could have put them higher. Liverpool and Spurs and everyone else in and around them not having a great time.
I'm unwilling to jump to conclusions because there's 36 games of the.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think I underjudged them, but I still don't think they're all that.
Yeah, why not? Is hard, but I'd like to ask.
Because teams can go on runs, man. I don't know.
I think that
what I think I underjudged specifically is the importance of Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. I think that's what I undid, because they do have that kind of, well, we expect to win shit because we have for so long. They have that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
However, Granit Xhaka isn't suddenly a world-class midfielder.
It's still Granit Xhaka.
Thomas Partey isn't suddenly a world-class midfielder.
I mean, they played Palace, who... do you know the one thing about Palace? Obviously, we drew to them yesterday. I think Patrick Vieira is doing a good job because their budget is so small, but I think they are a little bit overrated from last season. I think that he did an okay job in the end. They finished like 14th, and there was like a very small potential with like 6 games left that they could still be relegated. And it's like, that is not a position that a manager that's doing a really good job at Palace should be in. Do you know what I mean? So that's my point. So they beat Palace and then they beat Leicester, and Leicester I think that they're actually going to struggle massively this
I think
season.
they're in trouble at the moment. I mean, they're going to lose eventually.
If Fofana goes, they could do a what's it called though, a Dortmund, and just go, yeah, we're not selling this year, we're giving you next year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing with Dortmund is you don't mind playing at Dortmund because they are always in the Champions League and they're always in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, but
with Leicester, you're just going to struggle to talk to Fofana and be like,
Schmeichel's gone.
Come play in the Conference League with us or whatever.
Yeah, they've not replaced Schmeichel in terms of like they literally went, we'll use our second choice keeper, and they didn't like him. So what was the point? Vardy could be off. Maddison's going. Like Newcastle are going to buy him. I just know it. And yeah, Leicester in trouble. So it's like,
who was it? Oh, João Pedro that I saw.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's not a bad signing for me.
No, not at all. I mean, any of those Watford front three, why Liverpool have never signed Ismaila Sarr, I'll never understand. Because that guy, if you put him in a team that's going to give him the ball, score lots of goals. You see this guy the other day?
Yeah, he had like a weird game. He scored an absolute worldie, and then he takes the softest penalties, man. Yeah. Even David De Gea saved 2 in a row from him.
I don't get how players are like Messi is the best player ever, but he literally can't score when you put him in front of a goal from 12 yards and go, there's a goalkeeper, beat him. He's 64 players, dribble past them and score. Yeah, I'll do that. I can't do it, mate. I literally can't do it. Move Messi's free kicks 6 yards back, that penalty 6 yards back, and put a wall in front of him, and he'll score 9 times out of 10. How can you not score when there's nothing in front of you, mate? But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like Ismaila Sarr, he's out. He's like really, really good. I rate him highly. And Dennis, obviously, to Forest. Forest are confusing. We should have spoken about them. Definitely something dodgy going on behind the scenes there. 50 signings.
It seems like a front for a business.
Bad. It's. I'm a little bit worried for them.
although, how on earth they've managed to be newly promoted and have a midfield of Jesse Lingard, Freuler, and Hassam Aouar? What the fuck has happened there?
I don't know.
That's a better midfield in like half of the top 10.
Yeah, no, literally. Aouar for £40 million, Liverpool just do it and sell him next year for £40 million. Break even on him. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But anyway, back to Arsenal.
Well, speaking of, they've been linked with him for maybe a century.
Yeah, they're playing Bournemouth and Fulham in the next 2 games, so they should be on 12 points by the time it's done, and they're looking really good then, because it's all about the confidence. 5 games into the season, if you're 5 games in and you're on 12 points already, like, you're looking all right. But I just like it. I like Arteta. I'm not actually, I'll rephrase it. I don't think I like Arteta. I think I like the way he coaches. I think I've always said it about him: great coach, awful manager. If you notice anyone that's got half a personality he doesn't like, Xhaka was captain. Xhaka liked to say something, so he went, "You're not my captain anymore." Lacazette had half a personality. Aubameyang had half a personality.
Do you know vice captain though? So that's fine.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, I feel like Odegaard's like, he's like, do this, and Odegaard's like, and he's like, I love you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, as literally, David Ornstein, Crystal Palace working on a deal to sign Ismaila Sarr. There you go.
We'll be even worse against Palace next time we play them if they sign Sarr. That'll be a nightmare.
But the thing, actually, controversially, I disagree. I hate Arteta, just passionately. It just pisses me off everything he does. But every decision he's made, like big decision as a manager so far, has kind of been right. He binned off Leno and brought in a new goalkeeper who everybody, including me, thought was stupid, and he's just good. Getting rid of Aubameyang as captain, clearly a good decision, and in the end of it.
I'll caveat what I said with, I actually think you're right. I still think he's a bad manager in terms of like, Aubameyang annoyed him and he went, what's the one thing I can do? Just make you not captain and sell you. That's bad management. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole Nunes situation at Liverpool, Klopp needs to manage that well, and I have no doubt he will. Like Ten Hag is struggling with Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's such a big personality, so it's a difficult thing to do. But it's like everyone else, he clearly had them on like playing off his hymn sheet. Do you know what I mean? Like, what a saying, by the way. He clearly did in pre-season, and something's gone wrong since. Guardiola, like, he's a mad manager. Like, he has those players doing exactly what he wants them to do. And if there's a falling out, I mean, maybe with Guardiola you could say the same thing. Great coach. sold Sterling, sold Zinchenko, sold Jesus, maybe because they wanted more game time.
Managers don't have to have full control of who comes in. They have to have full control of who leaves. And look, if you're not playing Sterling and you're not playing Zinchenko, 85 million combined for both of them.
Very good money. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll do a segment on who's the best manager next week.
I am surprised. I'm not surprised by Arsenal winning the first 2 games. I'm surprised by how good they've been. But again, it's a long old season.
Yeah, it's difficult. I do like them. I have a soft spot. I don't know why. Probably shouldn't, but
I've got more of a soft spot for City than I do for Arsenal. Honestly,
yeah, I don't know why. To be fair, United and Arsenal have some bad blood, don't they? So, but yeah, I don't know.
I Liverpool, Leeds, Arsenal, Chelsea all come before I'd even think about.
City are irrelevant. Yeah, I really don't like Chelsea. Obviously, United. I'm not a huge fan of Spurs. Never have been.
I have a weird niggling hate of Spurs. I don't really know where it came from.
Yeah, it's just like there. Do you know what I mean? It's like just really don't like them.
I don't think we deserve it, but I just don't like it.
I mean, we got battered by them 4-1 one year, and that was just heartbreaking. So that's probably where it comes from for me. Yeah, it probably comes from that, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's weird. Obviously, we've covered the 2 biggest talking points there. Arsenal. There's not really much else. In 2 weeks' time, I think we might be able to do it on like a Thursday or something in 2 weeks, because I think it goes this weekend, obviously games, we're playing you next weekend, and then it's a midweek game week, so we might have 3 lots of games to talk about, which would be quite good. But yeah, it's been good fun. We're bi-weekly now, which sounds weird. We're every 2 weeks. We're fortnightly, let's say it that way. I'll try and get a bit more active on the socials. But yeah, I mean, it's good fun. We're going to keep them shorter as well, so you guys don't have to listen to us drone on for too long. But that's the whole point of the podcast. I don't know why I've just said that. But yeah, it's good. Been good to catch up. I'll probably message you on Monday either way. I'll try not to gloat if it's like 6 again, but who knows? Can't help it, can I?
As I said to you, I am expecting naught from it. So if anything positive comes from it, great. If not, also whatever.
No, that's cool. Nice one. We're coming back from that, is there? Thank you very much for talking to me, Jamie. How you? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please don't make your voice break.
Do my best.
Everyone, if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. That'd be brilliant. And we'll catch you soon. See you later, guys.
Cheers.